They do.
Whatever you say.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for Victor Allen's new Sports. Written, directed, and produced by none other than Victor Allen, the one that the ladies have nicknamed Sexual Chocolate. And without further ado, get ready for a download. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Vic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we got.
Yeah.
Here we got this because I'm still transitioning from that last comment. Welcome to New Sports. I don't know how we can go from Pulp Fiction.
You started that.
Okay.
Okay, that was not me.
Okay. To sports.
Victor got us distracted. And I'm okay. We gonna do sports because there's a lot of sports stuff.
Yes, sir.
But I gotta ask you, you gonna hit Joe Pa somewhere on here?
Yeah, look at the trending sports.
Oh, see, you got
the part.
You know, it's a trip with new sports is relevant because of all the bullshit going on in sports. So Vic, he doesn't have to actually talk about games or the competition.
No,
we can just talk about all the bullshit surrounding sports. Thank you. That's new.
That's it. The whole point is when you sit there, I said the trending sports topics is here, but don't get it twisted. Yeah. We have to wrap what we call a terminology around it for those who are, not getting it a different way. We can't compete with ESPN. We can't do them, man. No. We got to do us, right?
No. Right, even though they can't match our wonderful taste for dress and fashion.
Well, all right, let me go and tell you guys our trending topics that I believe are pretty hot from what I've seen. Of course, is Pittsburgh Penguins' Sidney Crosby returns. He scores 4 goals, and I got to give it to him, man. He was suffering from the last 9 months back in January from multiple concussions. Dude came back like, man, you know what, Mario? He is the Tiger Woods, the former hot Tiger Woods of NHL hockey. This dude is unbelievable. So,
much love to him and the fact that he came back. But Vic, doesn't this also signal another area? Can we get a little better helmet?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you guys, how many concussions, Vic? You know they can make a helmet that'll get you to the goddamn moon.
Yes.
Okay?
No.
If you take a gunshot, it probably not burn you.
You should see the football helmet that they came out with, that it was just in the news where they showed what they're doing in the advancement of protecting from concussions and stuff. I wish I could have brought the picture. I didn't. It was my bad on that. But at least football is working on it. I saw this yesterday.
We've talked about this over the years.
Yes, we have.
They got to make them robot suits.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to get there. We know that. That's what I'm saying. But let me just do this for you guys who want to understand that Mario and I internally are going to reference our topics from terminology we like. This is what Mario and I use. We use ball and upset.
I still don't know what that means.
That's okay, man. You don't have to worry about it. Whatever. Big pimping and for the ladies. Something for the ladies. So our first trending topic, I'm telling you right offhand, just letting you know. Welcome back, Sidney Crosby. You are the man. When I watched him on the ice, I said, they're going to go after him. They're going to hit him just to see if they can go, welcome back. It's 9 months later. You get no pass. But then Barry Melrose, dude, he is like the ambassador of hockey, says, this is like our Tiger Woods of sports. So don't go after him because he brings in revenue, money. He brings it all in. He says, if you guys try to take him out, it'll be like Tiger Woods and the ratings go down, sponsorships go down, your revenue stream gets hit. Mario, do you believe in the philosophy that with a guy like this, that the players should step back from going after him?
Hell no. And they should treat him just like Tiger. That means mess with him. Let's treat him just like El Tigre. And first of all, if you want to stand in Tiger's shoes, you have to lay pipe.
All right. Okay.
I told you that girl. What the girl said? Tiger hit it. The girl said Tiger hit it 8 times. Got up, went out and worked out, and came back and hit it like twice more.
Are you correlating Crosby with the affections?
I'm saying some people got puck and some people got stick.
Okay. Let me just say this. I'm giving props out to Crosby. I am not relating to this man being a womanizer.
But no, they compared him to Tiger Woods.
They did as a player. He is the Tiger Woods of the NHL hockey.
First of all,
prior to the 2 years ago.
If you're going to be compared to Tiger,
right,
you got to be compared to Tiger.
Well, then, if that's the case, give me what you think he is. Something for the ladies. He's not an upset. He's balling. What?
He's balling.
He's balling. He's balling. That's what I'm saying.
He's specifically not something for the ladies because y'all didn't say he compares to LT Gray.
There you go.
LT Gray.
There we go. He's in another room.
Something for the ladies.
Something for the ladies. I got you. All right.
Yes.
Let me see.
That's why he's LT Gray.
He's following it. Mario's give him time. He'll be like, I don't want to say this guy's name. It takes slow to roll on this show.
First, he's a penguin.
He is.
First of all, that's not a sex. It's like a duck. That's not a sexy sport name.
Right.
Pittsburgh Penguin, the Anaheim Ducks.
Right.
Those are not sexy sport names. You
I'm
know.
not gonna
How about
get
your
into
next
that.
one, the Detroit Tigers?
Right. I got to give him something.
Who wants to be
on
a
that
damn
one.
penguin?
I got to give him something. Let me just go on and transition to it. Justin Verlander not only wins the Cy Young, but they awarded him the MVP, which usually goes to batters, hitters, home run hitters. Those multi-players who cover a lot of positions, batting average, home runs, ribbies, everything else. They gave this man something that's rare. It's been about 20 years, I think, since somebody as a pitcher got this award. With that alone, balling, something for the ladies. I knew you was doing this. Something for the ladies. Big pimpin'. Come on, man. Justin is the man.
Baseball.
Baseball, man. What is he, man? Dude, this is Justin. Look. I'm gonna say this just as a temporizer.
Sorry.
It would have been a greater feat if the New York Yankees had some kind of. If it's almost like you want the Yankees to be opposite the team, that they get the award to the MVP and the Cy Young award winner, but unfortunately they're in the same American conference. So it's one of those things where if you don't follow it, Mario, you may not give it the respect that's due.
I really am interested in what Justin Bieber did in the pickup games.
All right, we're going to go to, see what I'm saying? Give me some.
You guys, I'm sorry for this, because the guys keep coming up and they are righty, Vic.
Yeah.
It's not Vic's fault. No. I do diss baseball a little bit.
Yes, he does, and I love baseball.
I didn't like it playing it coming up. I'm sorry. I didn't really like it.
If you get
over it.
I tell you what.
Get over it.
Do a baseball game, work a baseball game, and have some nice female athletes split between the team members.
All he got is hot dogs.
Okay.
That's the best thing about the damn baseball game is the food.
You can't disrespect baseball because
yes, I can.
It's a strong revenue stream, platform, organization, empire. They ball, man. So what is Justin? Big pimping, balling, something for the ladies. He's one of those categories, man.
He is balling.
He's balling. Okay.
He is balling.
All right. Got it. All right. Now, we got to go to the next subject. It's not a good one. This is not good.
Yeah,
Major League Baseball's Greg Hallman. My apologies on that. Stabbing death in the Netherlands. And his brother has been considered a suspect. And there's the question is, was it attributed to loud music? Meaning that somebody came. This is the story the police are getting initially. So that it was loud music playing, and the victim somehow or another, I believe, came downstairs after the stabbing. So they don't know if it was one of those things where somebody stabbed him because of loud music, but his brother is a suspect. Now, Mario, the Netherlands, loud music, your brother, you haven't heard anything else coming from his brother. The brother hasn't reported anything. What do you think is taking place here from what the information we have at hand? This is all we have.
I have no idea, Vic.
Because
I didn't hear. The story's a little confusing. It is. Things are just coming out.
Yeah.
So they don't know.
And
I've heard different stories. So maybe you've got more than what I've had this morning.
Yes.
What's been floating across the wire still seems to be a little vague.
It is vague. And let me say this. I hope it's not the brother, because it'll remind me of a story of a Brian Williams, former Chicago Bull, who went sailing, and that big thing where his brother committed the crime. And, of course, dumped the body, not only his brothers, but the others involved. It was such a terrible story.
Remember the college one?
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm just saying this is how. The reason why I think it's going to be
bad. It's getting worse.
It's going to get worse because everybody's waiting to find out. Look, Mario, here's the sad part.
It's going to get worse because the next topic is Joe Paterno.
It's getting worse. Let me just say this. Let me say this. Okay. Is this a letdown just to hear this story with the brother being in the hemisphere?
Totally.
It's a letdown. This is a letdown.
Totally a letdown.
Yeah, I feel so
Once
bad.
Once again, and with sports, is it interesting that you have to have letdown as a new category? I mean, I'm saying it says something. He's adding categories. One of them next is going to like jail time. Let down. Then the new category is going to be jail time, where we give you updates on all the sports figures that's in the pen.
This is such a bad thing because, of course, Joe Paterno. Now, I told you this was going to. It keeps going back to the question I said a couple of weeks ago. I said, is Penn State football larger than Penn State? And what's happening here is Joe Paterno's far-reaching rule, and Vicky Tripoli, a former VP Student Affairs representative, says Paterno interfered with a discipline process for athletes, which meant, in short, and please, if you need to go find more on this, you can get the specifics. Just go on and Google the story. It's everywhere. Specifically, it's kind of, don't mess with my athletes. I'll take care of it. Now, Mario.
Well, yeah, that's like it. But you know what? In all fairness, does anybody think that that's not at every college?
They actually said this. They said, yes, we do understand there is favoritism and special treatment. But what they're linking it to is where this email is just one of many about how Joe says, I covet what happens here. And it's far-reaching.
Well, this one also involves an issue of a pedophile, so that ups the ante anyway.
All right, now okay. We already know this. Now, let me say this, Mario. If that's one email, do you see many more emails coming? Because,
possibly.
We're in an email world, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that this is just still the tip of the iceberg of what they call the culture of Paterno?
Oh, totally. And it's not, listen, Vic, look what's happening over the weekend. Syracuse.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to come out now with their own shocking revelations.
Yes.
And so, okay, we'll see.
Yeah. So, and what we're saying right now, this is definitely a letdown. And yeah, Mario's right. There may be a new category and standard. I'm hoping to avoid that because I hope this Penn State situation is once in a lifetime, because now the feeding frenzy has hit not only the community, the social media and everything. You know how things are. When a big story comes, then everybody likes to go and focus on any athletics or people of responsibility who may or may not be considered doing something that's not morally right or illegally wrong, whatever the case may be. So I'm just hoping more that no, it's not. It's going to get worse. I wish I could say
it's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse. So, okay, good. Now we got that out the way. That's the trending stuff that you guys already knew. And we are right now, our first topics, we got a couple of letdowns and a couple of ballers. Let's go over to this one. I love it. Is the SEC the best all-time football conference in the BCS era? And before...
Well, that's not letting long.
I know. Wait a minute. See,
so are they the best for like the last...
20?
How long? No. How long has the BCS been in?
I know. So you caught the question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but see, you still got to relate it to the BCS era. See, the part is you got to look at...
So how long is the BCS era, though?
You know what?
When we look it up?
Yeah, go ahead and look it up.
I'll look it up on Wikipedia.
Because the good thing about it, we know it's more than... And BCS era is the catchphrase on this, because I could have easily went to the greatest conference all time.
That's right.
But I wasn't trying to do a lot of research.
No, because if you take it too far, you have to go way back, and then you have Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame and Independent. Notice that I didn't even have Notre Dame in here because they consider themselves an independent. And they're a conditional college. So in basketball, they don't mind being part of a conference. In football, they want to remain indie. Why? Because they are a revenued organization by itself, and it doesn't need a conference. But that's going to change because of parity. So Notre Dame, no matter how much you look at it, I think Notre Dame and USC share the titles of the most championships.
Exactly.
But we're talking about the BCS era. And in the BCS era, you have 4 other main conferences that may look at it and say, well, wait a minute. Let's just make sure we're looking at this in the right context. Because on one hand, wonder if the same football teams, if it's Florida, Alabama, say Auburn, and let's just say LSU, they win the title, shared amongst themselves for the last 5 or 6 years. Are we getting caught in a moment?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But by the way, because you had me look it up.
Yes.
First of all, I didn't really. First of all, you guys, what does BCS stand for? I must admit, I locked up on it.
Yeah.
It's the Bowl Championship Series. But Vic, I didn't realize this. It's been in place since 1998.
Yes.
See, I was going to say 2004.
No, it's been there for a while. And see, here's the part that eliminates.
Okay, that's a long. I'm sorry, I was off.
I wanted to go back even further, but it would have been unfair to go back to the Miami days of the championships.
But no,
because that was a different titling era. They didn't call it the BCS.
But this is a good era because if it going back to 1998.
Yes.
That's totally I just didn't think it went all the way back. I swear I would have said 2004.
Yeah.
Or 2003.
Further back.
Yeah, but it goes way back. No, so it's really significant to me. At least that's, again, signifying who's been the winner, for us for like the last, 13 years. That's, it's getting up there. When you're up in the last 15 years.
Right.
That's significant.
It's significant as who we're talking to, and if you're talking to students who are representing these conferences, they're really not going that far back. They're saying we're the winners now. Would you say that the SEC, balling, big pimping, and something for the ladies?
They're pimping some big balls.
Dude, this is wrong. This is wrong.
Okay, they're big pimping.
Big pimping?
But the balls maybe not. Well, they big balls.
They're big. Okay,
they're not the little multi balls.
So you agree? Hands. Let me just say this.
Yes.
Let's bring in the other conferences and see how close.
Who knows any other conferences?
I'll give them to you.
That's the thing about the SEC.
I'll give you.
You can't name. Can anybody else name the other conferences?
Yeah, a couple of us can.
Big
There's the only four
Big
conferences outside of SEC that share in what they call the titling.
Okay.
The championship titles, whether it's BCS or otherwise. You have the Big Ten.
See, I thought that was something else. I thought that was that porn star.
I knew he was going to go there.
The Big Ten.
I knew he was going to go there. All right, you got the Big Ten. And what I've done is put in what I call the teams that usually have won or competed with championships. So you got Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. You got the Big 12, which Oklahoma.
That's Tommy Lee, right?
Yeah, you got it, man. You the man. You got it. Man, he paid attention.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Texas.
You got Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska. Now, I still put Nebraska there because this is their first year over in the new conference, Michigan, and of course Ohio State. So far as I'm concerned, they belong with the history and the titles before this year. The Pac-12, which USC dominates, period, when it comes to national championship titles. Not too many other teams except Washington's probably shared in that. And then you have to include Oregon recently. If you go to the ACC, this is the part where I had to give them props. I said, you think ACC, that's Miami.
Now, Vic.
I'm just saying. That
shows a bias that you only named 3 of the 12 teams.
Yes, I did.
And only 3... you only named...
Let me just say this.
So the other teams in the conference don't count?
No, they do. What I'm saying is the ones who won more titles or who've been to more championships.
Okay.
So I had to consolidate it.
Okay, I got you.
Yes, and it's like Virginia Tech. Those teams in the ACC have been a forefront of higher, ranking in the last 10 years.
Exactly. And it's amazing, too, Vic, is that they kind of rotate these conferences between who's important. Because I remember when Miami was, all the talk was Miami and Florida for a while.
Right.
I mean, all you talked about was Miami, Florida.
Right.
Florida. Of late, it's been, SC's always been part of the talk.
Right.
But I'm just saying that you just have points in time. And, of course, not recently, but if you go back further, there was a time when Oklahoma and Nebraska was probably the most prominent match of rivalry.
Right, and here's the part. This is what I'm saying. If you had to pick a number 2 conference between Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, which conference can say, look, we can hold our own solidly in second place, maybe considerable a first place, equal to the SEC.
Pac-12, because the Pac-12 could beat them.
Okay, now
they still could beat them. You got to see what happens in this championship.
You know what the hard part is, Mario, on this? It's because if we didn't have SC, it's unfortunate that we don't have other players of significance in the championships.
I think
it's a little difficult.
SC possibly could beat them, and Oregon could possibly beat them. That's always the question: is who could possibly beat them?
Right,
but certainly I think either one of them possibly could.
Right. And we're talking about this year. So
this year.
But competing conference, the conference that I had to pick because they routinely had championships around there, I was caught between, and I have to say ACC, I got to stay away from that because it's pre-BCS era. I was caught between the Big 12 with Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska. because Texas has always been there and Oklahoma has been there. During the years, we actually, USC, because I say we because we're in the Southland, was competing against them. So I had to stop and say, which conference can really compete with the SEC? And it looks like it's the Big 12. Now, somebody's going to say Big 10 because you got Ohio State, you got Michigan, but Ohio State has been the monster who's represented being in the championships, maybe not winning as much. So I was split. I'm not sure who's number 2.
You know, it's to be, I don't.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's to be seen because, you know, one thing about college, when you start crossing those conferences,
right,
that's where you get the upsets that you just really don't expect. You really do. So, you know, you wonder, because sometimes teams look so awesome until they run up, you know. So I don't know. I really don't know. I would love to see those games, and there's been great ones this season already with LSU.
Yeah, and I wanted to put a note on it. I said, you notice that there are colleges that are not what they call a pro sports hemisphere, meaning that if you deal with, say, an Auburn, or if you deal with an LSU, that it seems to be those schools that don't have like LA Lakers or Boston Celtics or across between other sports, New York Yankees, that they thrive and their culture is centered around the college institution of athletics. And it just seems the SEC has a lot of that prominence in there. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm just saying I noticed that because when you have places like New York, LA, Boston, Chicago, even Miami may be an exception to it, is that we have other sports we can rally around. And there are no crowds, I have to admit. There are no crowds like the SEC crowds when they play football. I feel like I'm in a different world.
You know, like I said, like you just said, it ain't L.A.
That's right. That's right.
You know, we got a lot more variety here, and you could be like, remember, we don't care that we don't have a pro team.
Right. We're not stampeding the doors down for a football team.
It doesn't work that way in L.A.
It's totally different.
Yeah, we don't rush out to.
It's not a plus, though. That's the whole point.
No,
it's not a plus. All right, we're going to go over to what I think is the next subject, which is going to be dealing with, can you predict the upcoming trends for the NFL week number 11? And that's week 11. Because I always say we wait to report what has happened, but we're going to find out where we think the subjects and the trending topics will be. All I'm doing is sucking you in to say pick an upset, a blowout, an overtime, or best offensive scoring match that you see on the table. Now, you can always add what you like, Mario, but this is a set of games coming, brother, it's off the chain. I don't know if you're ready for it.
So that's because it's Thanksgiving. Okay, first of all, let's all take a moment to just be totally thankful to the Creator to have to be looking at a Thanksgiving with some decent football. Thank you, Lord. It's been a long time, and I've been suffering, been watching the Detroit Lions all my life on Thanksgiving. Every once in a great while, once in a decade, it's like a good game.
Yes.
It looks like this way may be
the year
of this decade.
Yeah.
That you may actually have a decent game time watching the Detroit Lions. You won't be searching through the DVD collection to play, reruns.
No.
Okay.
All right. Now being at that's the case, we're going to hit a number of things. Now, before we answer the questions of picking the upset, if there is one, or an overtime game or best offensive scoring match, we're going to tie this all into where we think the trend's going to come from. So I listed what I call 5 competitive games that's going to involve not only the teams that we think are going to be the best games and the players who's going to be centered around, which are the quarterbacks. With that in mind, I want you to go down with me and understand that the Green Bay Packers at Detroit is going to be stepping up first. That's already telling you that Aaron Rodgers and Stafford are going to be competing on the day that we get fat off of the turkey, the macaroni cheese, and the pie. And if you're not watching this game, then I'll just leave you alone. So the next game, New England Patriots at Philadelphia Eagles, Brady versus Young, Vince Young, because we can't say that Vic's going to be in the game. Mario,
you know what? Because you know what, Vic? Remember, at the beginning of this year, I signed off on Vince Young, kind of. So you're holding on to him.
Yes, I am.
You know, and announcers to me are being really kind to him. I think that people really are being kind to him. Vic, to me, I'm still.
You're waiting for the disaster.
I'm just saying, I just don't find he is. I was one of those ones who really anticipated him from that SC. It all happened with that SC, that final game. So, but no, I'm not convinced. I know. You need time, and we all need time. I'm not convinced eventually. I think Patriots going to kick their ass. Well, it's going to be like total, like we talked about earlier. Yeah. It's going to be total mud packing.
Well, let me just say this: what I.
Jeez. It is. I had to stop. Okay, you saw what in New England. Okay, I'm just telling you. I feel sorry for Philadelphia. New England's about to come in there and wax them.
Let me just say this.
Their ass.
Let me say this. I'm gonna say this for a reason, because I actually am following your train of thought. But I also saw something in Philly that everybody noticed this past game. They said, "Oh," which I think is why the Eagles got lazy. I think they were so inspired about Vic winning the game that the defense took a back seat and relaxed. Then they played with Vince Young. Everybody talked about this. They said, "Did you see the madness?"
That, Skip was on that shit. I'm going like, you know what?
Come on.
No offense. What's with this? How the offense affecting the mentality of the defense?
Did you not see them play?
I'm just saying that they're supposed to be pros. Okay?
So they did not step up. Okay,
well, that's my point. In other words, Baltimore Ravens have to always play with an offense doing lackluster jobs. You hear all that bullshit when it comes to them. Right. It's a bunch of other teams that constantly the defense performs when the offense ain't doing shit. So I'm sorry. No, you guys. And here's what else is funny. Just like you said, that some teams seem to be, with time, getting less certain. Look what the New England Patriots is looking like on defense all of a sudden. Yeah. Did you see even the special teams?
Yeah.
The attitude, the attitude that was coming from them.
But you know what? You're talking about the Kansas City game, right?
Yes.
Now let me just say this. I'm just saying this for a reason. I agree with you. Okay. But Kansas City not only did not have their starting quarterback, going into New England with the backup quarterback, with a team that has already kind of lost
but that doesn't
games,
see.
They weren't even supposed to.
But that's
make an
my
impact.
point. See, this is what my point is as a professional. Not having your starting quarterback should make your special team suck.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, and I listened to the commentators talk. I said, you know what, you guys, you're talking like this is family psychological hour.
Right.
I don't think that you're supposed to. You're saying the defensive linemen are looking over at the offense, and then they get depressed, and underperform.
Right.
Give me a frigging break.
Now, you don't believe that after seeing, because everybody clearly saw it. I've watched it, and I said, they're in attack mode. Now, they don't have, I'm not saying they were on steroids. I said, did you see this defensive effort by this team, the Eagles?
Sure.
Everybody asked, isn't this the team that was supposed to show up 8 games ago? What happened? Where did they come from?
They need to show up all the time. You know what? Here's the thing, and I guess this is what my point is. My favorite pros are in attack mode every game.
I agree.
All of my football heroes, can you imagine telling Butkus, Singletary, any of them they need to be? Mike Singletary.
Right.
You need to be in attack mode.
We got to leave
No shit. He walks in the shower in fucking attack mode.
Let's leave Michael out for
I'm just saying there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them that come in attack mode. Ray Lewis.
Right.
I mean, there's a bunch of them that come in attack mode.
Right.
Polamalu, they come in attack mode every game.
Right.
It doesn't make any difference. The offense is stumbling.
Right. And a part of it is Philadelphia has to have this culture of understanding and how they're supposed to play the game, like Pittsburgh or, teams like that have a philosophy they stand behind.
It's Philadelphia.
And it's Philadelphia.
All they have is a cheesesteak.
It's wrong. That's wrong. I'm just saying Philadelphia.
I have family there.
I think the real Philadelphia
Hoagies.
defense showed themselves. They may be proud that they walked off the field delivering the damage, with Vince Young having to come back and overcoming 3 interceptions and taking them down that last drive. But I saw the telling tale as the defense stepping up and rising up. I said, so now you deliver. So maybe you were too busy watching Michael Vick and not doing your job.
Well, that's what they were saying. I'm just saying, that's the question is they were underperforming.
Right.
And the issue is why, and it doesn't make any difference to me. I don't give you a pass anyway, It doesn't make any difference.
Thank you. All right. Okay, now that's 2 games, because I can't wait till we get to where we think who's going to be really balling. Let's go to the third game, which I think is
That's going to be the game.
Oh man, I'm talking about.
That's going to be.
You're talking about San Francisco
Yes.
at Baltimore. Alex
Yes.
Smith, Joe Flacco.
Yes.
You're talking about two quarterbacks who have still yet to really prove that they're
Yes.
consistent and can deliver.
Yes.
You got San Francisco at 9-1, trying to chase the home field advantage, which that means you got to outpace Green Bay.
Yes.
Pressure's on them. This will be the measuring stick.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see this as being even a greater game than the Thanksgiving Day game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, because it has a lot more to prove.
I do.
Okay. All right. Let's go to
Actually, I think the next one, too.
the Chicago.
Even though I think the Green Bay game is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
It may not be as, okay, I just don't know that it's going to be as exciting as you think. I actually think Green Bay is going to kind of exert their will on Detroit.
You think they're going to lay it in?
Yeah, I kind of do, Vic. I think they're on a fine tune. It's not that Detroit. I think Detroit is a solid thing, and they're showing it, but
Yeah.
they don't have it on this kind of level.
Yeah.
And that's why certain people have been able to get at them.
Right.
And I just don't see that. I don't think that's going to be a close game.
Okay.
Green Bay and Detroit. It may, I just don't think it. But I think neither New England because they're going to kill Philadelphia.
Right. See, okay.
But these next ones,
the
Vic.
next one, not
San
Chicago.
Francisco and Chicago.
Right.
Those are the two. I'm just curious about Denver, but that San Francisco, Baltimore, and the Chicago-Oakland games are the two games to watch. The Chicago game could be excellent. And I'm talking about, you got to give it to the Raiders. Exciting to watch. They run, but there's going to be some running in this game.
But the problem you got, they cannot replace a Jay Cutler. He's out for the year. So to me, if Oakland don't come in and win soundly, because they are taking away the quarterback who has now stepped up and become and is regarded on the Bears organization as a leader. You remove him, you can't replace that right away. So should Oakland be favored?
Yeah. I think Oakland should be favored.
I think so too.
Not heavily.
No.
Because once again, this is gut check. And too bad it's not in Chicago because that would even make it a little harder considering the weather.
Thank you.
But no, defense can. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
The Chicago defense could just step up, and the special teams could just step up and really make this a nightmare day for Oakland because
that's what they're counting on.
You could easily see Hester running back 1 or 2,
right,
and the defense could do a bunch of stuff. And with the other quarterback, with Matt Forte, if they run, I tell you what, I bet you the Chicago Bears ain't feeling like they're coming in as underdogs.
No, and
I bet you they're rising to that occasion.
I'll say this: Chicago is going to be tested based on what they are going to try to stop, which is the run game, because nobody's been able to stop the Raiders' run game.
I bet you the Chicago offense does amazingly well also.
Which means if they do, that puts Carson in a throwing position moreover. So now, now you're looking at a different type of game.
If Oakland is wise, they will do a much more controlled offense with a lot more running, less emphasis on the pass. I think Chicago's going to try to get them to pass more. I think that potentially is at least more of the area of the issue. Right. The issue that Carson has done well with has been his performance, but he's about to get harassed in a way that he hasn't seen in a while.
Right.
So they're going to come after him, and I still go, Vic, the Chicago offense, I look to them to perform better than anyone expects, even with the backup quarterback, because they're going to mount a hell of an offensive running attack.
I think
and look for the special teams also.
I'll say this as well. I'll say this. If the Raiders say we're going to spread it out and employ the passing game right away to open up the field, and they do that initially at the beginning of the game, set the standard of how they want to approach, because it's going to be predictable they're going to run. If they open up that field and the passing becomes effective, Chicago will be on their heels.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's take a pick. I'm going to pick Chicago with the upset.
Okay, well, let's do this.
Even though I think Oakland will be favored.
Let me do this. I'm going to go down and pick the last game that we have to try to put a point and see if it's going to be substantial. Denver Broncos at San Diego Chargers. San Diego on that 4 or 5 game losing streak. This is not a big prove-it-to-me situation, but if Tebow goes into San Diego with a losing streak Phillip is in a funk right now. Will it be a big statement maker, or will this game be a wash? Because you're catching San Diego, who's down. So even if he wins,
who's favored?
I think, San Diego's going to be favored.
Because I'm going with Denver for the upset on this. I think that they're going to get after him.
Okay.
I think that it's, again, I'm going to go out. I think that the Denver Broncos are going to win. I think they're going to defensively really put the slam on to San Diego.
Okay.
And I predict that the Denver offense is going to be productive. Tebow's going to have a good day.
He's going to have a good day. Okay, good. So now here we go. So right offhand, Mario, there may be. These are hard because who's the real upset? I mean, I'm looking for an upset with
the real upset.
Yeah, who's the real upset?
Well, it's not going to happen.
Who is that?
The real upset would be Detroit beating Green Bay.
There you go.
But that's not going to happen.
But
that would be the real upset. Okay, no. I think Philadelphia beating New England would be an equally big upset.
It could be.
You guys, but it ain't going to happen. I just can't imagine either one of those. I think you're going to see a shellacking, actually, I like to try to think Green Bay is just on a roll, and they're going to come in there like they're going to whip on them. And I'm telling you, and I think that New England is already out to prove a point. They're going to beat everybody up in the East that they can get their hands on.
I believe interconference games, I'm going to do my process of elimination. I believe Green Bay or Detroit, because they're interconference and they're familiar, even if Detroit wins, I think they'll go, okay, they're not undefeated, but I don't see it as being big because Detroit has offense, and Green Bay has still have to prove that they can play better defense. So even if it happens, I look to Detroit as being one of those teams that can upset Green Bay, but I wouldn't be shocked. New England at Philadelphia, either or. If Philadelphia wants to win, should win, New England does win, we're not going to be shocked about it. San Francisco at Baltimore, because this is not an interconference game. I'm looking at San Francisco going into Baltimore. We're talking about Ray Lewis territory against a defense that's considered the defense, because San Francisco has the best defense in scoring points allowed in the whole NFL. So you're talking about the new up and coming. So I'm going with this team as my big pimping game. I'm just picking big pimping. You can pick whatever you want. But Chicago at Oakland, they're without Cutler. Denver, Tebow has already proven he can win. And San Diego's down. So for me, the game I'm waiting for is San Francisco at Baltimore, baby. Because defense against best defense. AFC defense against NFC defense. Who are you picking on this one, Mario? San Francisco, I want to hear it again. Or Baltimore. Who are you picking?
I didn't give a choice on that one, huh?
Yes, you did.
That's the harder one. That's the hardest one for me to call.
I know.
Of all of them, that's the hardest one. I wasn't sure about that one.
Yeah.
Ooh, man,
that's
you guys, I'm going to go. Okay, I think it's going to be a defensive struggle, but I give the edge to San Francisco's offense over Flacco and them. But my heart tells me.
Right. It's hard.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens by just a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think I know. It's hard.
I don't have a good.
If San Francisco wins this game in Baltimore,
that's a big deal.
It's going to make people stop and go, well, we're waiting for that test game.
That's the game. Not that they aren't solidified, but that'll further solidify them as a contender.
Big pimping.
Actually, their whole performance, they can still come out of this and lose and still be a big contender depending upon how the game comes out.
Yeah.
I think the crisis issue is for the Ravens offense.
Yes. Look,
can they get a running attack going?
They both
during this
have
game?
Potent offenses when you think about it. So it's catching.
No,
Alex
the San
is on the
Francisco
high.
offense look more potent than
it does,
than the Ravens.
But they're not a team that you want to play who's going like if they're behind, they have to come from behind. That may not be their strength.
No, but I still give the edge to San Francisco in that. In defense, it's even harder now than before because the defenses are actually fairly comparable to me.
Right. Yeah, they are. This is why I said I love this game.
I do too.
This is a game where I'm going, somebody's trying to make a new statement, and they're going over to somebody else's territory who's the best defense in the AFC. I'm going, this is the game you guys want to see. So this is my big pimping game. I don't know if it's something for the ladies. I think something for the ladies is still Tebow.
Lovely for the ladies is Thanksgiving Day.
Here we go, you guys. That's my sports report. I am done. Good luck. Happy
Ladies and
Thanksgiving. Boom.
Written, produced, and directed by Victor Allen. That's New Sports. Today's new neo-urban look at sports. Hot and sexy. Wow. Brought to you by Victor Allen.